Ramadan is just around the corner, and a lot of us are probably already thinking about the long days of fasting, right? But what if I told you the real preparation has almost nothing to do with physical endurance? Today, we're going to dive into how to get ready for a Ramadan that goes way beyond just hunger and thirst and gets to the real spiritual heart of it all.
So let me just ask you this straight up. When Ramadan is over, do you ever feel like it was just a month-long challenge of not eating or drinking? You know, it's a really common feeling. We go through the motions, we follow the rules, but we somehow miss out on that deep spiritual fulfillment we were hoping for.
The source material we're looking at has this perfect analogy for it. Picture someone sprinting to catch the group prayer. They get there, totally out of breath, and just manage to join in. Now, yeah, they're physically doing the movements, but are they feeling any real peace, any connection? Not really. And that is exactly what happens when Ramadan just shows up and we're not ready for it. We miss the joy.
So how do we fix this? Well, the key is really understanding what fasting or siyam is truly about. And here's the most important part. It involves so much more than just our stomachs. It's a full-body, full-soul act of worship.
This is where we have to totally broaden our definition of fasting. Siyam means restraining everything. You know, the Quran gives us these incredible examples, like Maryam, who took a vow of silence, a fast of the tongue. Zachariah was also told to do a 3-day fast of the tongue. This just shows us that fasting has always been this holistic, all-encompassing discipline.
So yeah, it is not just the stomach. Our senses have to fast too. Our tongue has to stop gossiping and lying. Our ears have to stop listening to evil things. Our eyes have to stop looking at what's forbidden. Why? Because you can think of these as the gateways to your soul. These are the weak points that Shaitan uses to attack your faith. A fast isn't really a fast if we just leave all these doors wide open for him.
And of all of these gateways, let's just zoom in on one, the tongue. The source calls it the fastest weapon a person has. It can get you where you're going faster than anything else. But you have to ask yourself, which destination are you pointing it towards?
And right here, you can see those two paths laid out so clearly. On one side, things like gossip, slander, and pointless arguments, they can drag a person to hell with terrifying speed. It takes almost zero effort. But then, on the other side, that exact same tongue can be the fastest ride to heaven through meaningful remembrance of God, reciting the Quran, and just speaking with kindness.
Okay, so how do we actually train ourselves to control all our senses and get ready for a meaningful Ramadan? Well, the answer is in the month that comes right before it, Shaban. And this isn't just some random month, it is the official training ground.
The best way to think about Shaban is like a spiritual boot camp. It's the time that's been given to us to get our minds, our bodies, and our souls all on the same page. It's our chance to warm up before the main event, so we don't just stumble into Ramadan feeling totally cold.
So, how does this actually work psychologically? Well, when you fast during Shaban, even just for a few days, you're sending a constant signal to your brain. It's like a daily calendar alert going off that says, hey, get ready, the big month is coming. This whole process builds up your mental and psychological readiness. So when day 1 of Ramadan arrives, you're not starting from scratch, you are already in the zone.
And the benefits of doing this are just huge. You actually start to find real joy and ease in the fast. You're mentally ready to plan for those long nightly Taraweeh prayers. You feel that motivation to maybe finish the whole Quran. You're spiritually tuned in to look for the night of power. You're ready to give charity. You're basically setting yourself up for success.
All of this preparation, really, it's about winning a critical internal war. It's a struggle against two main forces. The nafs, which is kind of like our lower self or our ego, and of course, the whispers of Shaitan.
Now, the source material breaks down Shaitan's master plan, and it's pretty clever. He knows that if you're a sincere person, he can't just tell you to stop praying. That's not going to work. So what does he do when he can't stop you from doing the act itself?
He makes it meaningless. He corrupts it from the inside out. He strips away all of its meaning and its reward, turning this beautiful act of worship into nothing more than an empty ritual. So you're still doing it, but you're getting absolutely zero spiritual benefit.
And one of his primary tools for this is something called bid'ah, or religious innovation. This is when an act of worship is introduced that has no basis in the original teachings. Shaitan tricks a person into thinking this new thing is good, but in reality, it just completely cancels out the reward for all their hard work.
Just look at this comparison with zikr, the remembrance of God. The correct way is using full, meaningful phrases like Subhanallah or Allahu Akbar.
The wrong, innovative way often chops up these phrases into meaningless sounds, like just chanting illallah over and over or hu. The person doing it thinks they're remembering God, but Shaitan has tricked them into an empty, hollow practice. What's so amazing is how our main acts of worship are perfectly designed to fight the nafs. Our nafs loves food and drink, right? So siyam, fasting, disciplines it. The nafs loves being lazy and just resting, so salat, the 5 daily prayers, forces it to be active. The nafs loves money and holding on to it, so zakat, charity, purifies it from greed. Each act of worship is like a specific medicine for a specific disease of the soul.
And here is the bottom line. It is a very stark choice, and there is no middle ground. If you are not actively working to get your nafs under your own control through worship, then by default, it's under Shaitan's control.
All right, so after all of this preparation, this struggle, this sincerity, what is the ultimate payoff? What's the reward waiting for someone who fasts in a way that is truly for God?
Get this. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that whoever fasts for just one day for the sake of God, God will move their face 70 years' journey away from the hellfire. 70 years for one single day of sincere fasting. The scale of that reward is it's hard to even wrap your head around it.
But it gets even more amazing. You see, for most good deeds, the reward is multiplied. You get 10 times, 700 times, and so on. But fasting is totally different. In a sacred narration, God himself says, "Fasting is for me and I alone will give the reward for it." He doesn't even specify the reward. It's an open-ended, unlimited, personal gift directly from the Creator.
And finally, for those who fast, there is a special honor, a VIP entrance waiting in paradise. A gate called Ar-Rayyan, which means the quenched, will be opened only for them. It's such a beautiful, perfect end to a journey that starts with discipline and ends with the ultimate satisfaction. So the real question isn't just if you're going to fast, but how are you going to prepare to earn your way through that gate?